This is That One Audition with Alyshia Ochse.
I want the audience to know that I was just sharing with Devan, who I've known for a long time, who I worked with 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 12 years
Probably,
ago,
yeah, 12, probably like around 12, yeah.
that the audition that started it all, that we've talked about several times on mic with me farting in an audition, not once but twice, might actually be the Giselle in the story, might actually be Devan's wife.
It could, because I know my wife, she booked that commercial. So
Uh-huh.
talk about the Axe commercial where there's like girls
Yes.
running out of
Hundreds of
the
women coming
jungle and
out
there's a
of this
dude.
in a jungle and they converge upon this one man. Because I remember the next day, and because I remember before the callback, they were like, they're booking like 10 of the 14 girls from the callback, or like pretty much everybody, but the one that farted is gonna get to go.
I don't, you know what? If I was the cast, if I was those guys, that I would be like, let's bring the fart girl in because it's just going to make it more interesting.
It's
You
just
know,
gonna make it more
the
fun.
sound guy might not like it, but you know what? Just for like general like vibe on set.
I'm actually glad I didn't get it because for in that moment of woes, the like flagellation is really the humbling piece of pie that I was like, why don't we talk about auditions a little bit more about when you failed or when you did well or like when natural body shit happens, what do you do? What do you do?
You
Um,
roll with it. I don't, it's just you make it, you own it. You got to own it.
you gotta fucking own it.
But when
And
you
then
fart twice, it's hard to own the second fart. You won the first part, but like a
I
double.
won the first one. Maybe tell Jess it's the second part that she got. No, she was going to be the number one. I think she is the number one, the Amazonian woman that comes out. She is the prototype of what every woman would like. If here's my mold, can you make this, please? I would like to
Well,
come.
I'll tell you said that. She's gonna love it.
Please do. Okay, what have you been doing, man, for the last 14 years? Where do you want to start?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I know where I want to start because
Yeah,
there's
hit me with yeah,
hit
hit
me
me.
with. I'm going to hit you with some internet fodder since it's been a minute. Did you get attacked by a bear at 7?
No, when I
What
first
is
got
this?
here, when I first got here, I came to LA. I didn't have any intention of being an actor at all. I
The
was
intention was professional ball.
I did. That was my thing, and I got to the league, but I was with the Panthers for a quick cup of coffee and got injured and was on IR for the year and got surgery and then came back, got injured again, and they're like, you're done. It's over." And so basically, it just all fell apart, and I got bummed out, and then I got a little money from the league, so I like took 2 years and just stretched every dollar, and I lived out in Nashville. And after 2 years of just partying and doing nothing, I was like, I got to do something because I don't have any more money. And I had an opportunity to come out to LA to Venice Beach. And I just packed up my car, this old 66 Mustang. I just drove it cross country and I broke down into Mexico in the middle of the night and spent half the money I had. So I think I drove out with $3,800 to
And then
LA and I
after
spent
that
like
car fix, yep.
1,400 already gone. So now I show up with a couple bucks and I'm like, basically I got like two and a half weeks to live on LA, staying at like food and stuff like that. But I just was like optimistic. I just thought I was just naive, and I got here and I was trying to get jobs doing everything, and I didn't know anyone. And I had one friend that was here, and I told him I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do for money. He's like, why don't you go out and start like get a commercial agent and just do commercials? I was like, what? He's like, dude, yeah, trust me. If you book one of them, you'll be set for a year. And I was like, so I went and got this agent that he had, and the guy was like,
Wait, were you living with BS at this point? How
I
did you?
never lived with BS.
Okay, I
I
couldn't
didn't meet
remember.
BS. I didn't meet BS until Brian Thomas Smith for
Brian
everyone.
Thomas Smith,
Uh,
friend of the
yeah,
pod. We've
yeah.
done this for a long
I didn't
time.
meet Brian till probably 4 years after I'd been living in Venice. Like I knew
Okay.
because he
Oh,
was a legend. Like I
he
knew, oh,
is,
this
well, he's
dude.
a commercial legend. That's why I was like, wait, did
Yeah,
BS hook you up with?
yeah.
Nope, it was different
No,
dude, different random
different
dude.
dude. Total different dude. So I just started doing commercials, and I booked like the first one I went out on,
Of course
like
you
a
did.
Gatorade or something like that. I know it was a Pepsi commercial. And so I was broke, but I was just getting by. And then that first check came in for the day fee, and then once residual, I was like, oh my God. So I was like, okay, this is great. I'm just going to go into this commercial acting thing, not because I loved it, just because
Money.
this is how I'm going to survive.
Yeah.
And then after 3 or 4 years, and I just started doing a lot of commercials, I was like, I like it, I like this thing. And I was like, I guess maybe I should take it further and maybe try to do some like TV stuff or film stuff. And dude, I remember I was like, okay, all right, cool. So like I submitted actors as you could submit stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna submit for like this. It was a sizzle reel for a horror flick. like unpaid, obviously. Maybe it was like $100 or something like that. And I went in for this. I was so nervous because I had like a lot of lines, like a whole like 2 pages. And like normally in commercials, like you go and you're like, "Where's the burger?"
And
And
that's all
that's it.
you have
You
to
know,
do.
they're like, try it again, but do it funny. Where's the burger? And they're like, sick. And I'm like, so commercials were such a different beast. I remember I was like in the waiting room for this thing, and I was so nervous. And it was like getting right, like they're getting ready to call my name. And I was like, I can't do it. So I just got up and I left. And I got in
You
my car.
left?
I left. I just left. I was so scared. I drove home. And I had driven like an hour and a half to get there. And like halfway home, I was like so angry at myself because I was like, dude, I gave up. Like I ran away from like a problem. Like what am I doing here, man? This isn't me.
It's the fake bear story that populates the internet that you
Wait,
ran
I'm
away
supposed to
from.
talk about the fake parent story. I didn't even get to that. Okay, I'll just finish this. And so I called the
No.
casting. I said, hey, I had an emergency. Can you guys see me later today? Or can I come back? They said, why don't you come back tomorrow? And so I was like, okay, cool. I got some time. So I went and practiced a bunch at home and then went back in and I was so nervous, but I got into that room and I was shaking and I bombed it so hard, so bad.
Did you know anything other? Okay, I'm just
No,
going to learn my lines. So I'm
I
just,
never taken
yeah.
any. Couldn't even learn my lines. It was just an absolute nightmare. And sometimes people say, "Oh, it was a nightmare." Then they book it. No, it's like a nightmare.
You're
Dude,
really thinking whether or not you should do
two
this.
farts would have been way better than what I did. It was like I came in like leaking down my leg, and then just my pants fell
Ah.
off, and then I just like, yeah, it was bad. I just got destroyed in that room. But after that, I was like, I, I, I realized I was like, if something scares me this much and it's this difficult for me, I got to go towards this thing. Oh, I don't know. It was like, I was like, oh, I got to defeat this. I don't like that this has something on me. So then I started going to classes and like
What
doing the work.
class did you start with? What
God,
classes
I mean,
did
I'm just random dudes, random, like I
you
was,
just
you know,
ready?
like those, I couldn't afford to go to Leslie Kahn. I was like, that was like $600 a week or something. I was like, let me find these dudes on Facebook Marketplace before that was even Craigslist guys. I would drive down to Redondo Beach and go to this weird community center at 9 o'clock at night with four weird actors. And I don't even know what if we were, it was, I was just getting up in front of people, trying things in a place where I felt like I could explore. And it was just more of me learning about myself and just
Yeah.
like, just loosening up and seeing what it is, hearing feedback. And then eventually, like I took some other classes and I made it to, there was one legit class I took in the Valley. I forget her name. Dude, this is terrible.
No, okay, so I'm curious, like what all of a sudden shifts you into, for lack of a better word, like a technique or, oh, okay, this is the script analysis I need to do, or, oh, okay, I'm the guy that starts with voice. Like, where do you start when you start to get auditions, or is it just the density of which auditions happen? So you're like,
Dude,
okay, I've done
read
6, 7 years of
books.
audition.
I've
Yeah.
read books. I've listened to all the interviews. I've done all this, and it's just none of it. And I got all these notes. I'm like, okay, this is how I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna schedule. Okay, this is my tentpole moment in the scene. I'm gonna build it up here, and I'm gonna drop it down. I'm gonna bring it back. And I'm gonna hit it hard here. I'm gonna look down. I'm gonna punch in with my left eye because Michael Caine's always hitting that left eye across the camera. And I'm like, I would always try all these things like these cheat codes, but it was all bullshit. And it took me a long time to learn that I was just like trying to like manufacture something based on other people's knowledge that I could like take their experience and do it. It's like a kid like, oh, Michael Jordan, if I stick my tongue out when I go to dunk, I'm going to the
Right.
NBA. It's no, there's a lot of other things. And as far as my process goes, it changes every time.
Yeah, every
I
single
don't know.
character.
I wish I was like one of those dudes, like when I get it, this is how I do it, and this is how I feel about it. And a lot of times I'll get like things, and I don't audition as much anymore because I'm thankfully I don't
You're
I have
taken.
7 months a year, and so the other five I'm just kind of right now I'm like with the family, and some things come through, but typically like when I get things, I'm just ooh, does that? How do I feel to that? Is that something? Is
Mhm.
it those, should I try these jeans on? Or like sometimes you read it and you're like,
Yes.
and sometimes you're like, ah, it's just, and then that kind of indicates the journey for it. If I get something that it's just like I'm intuitively excited about, then I could delve into it. But I guess for me, I guess if I do have a process, it's just, if I could find the character.
Mhm.
If I know who this character is, then it all happens naturally.
Yes.
If I don't know the character, then I'm just reading the text and struggling and trying to find subtext and try to like make moments out of nothing, but it won't be real. It'll be fake. And I'm the legend of bullshit. Like 70% of my auditions, I have a Batman voice. What the fuck is that? I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Came here from out of town.
When you call action, it comes
Yeah.
in.
Like my wife, Jesse's like, Devin, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. She's, no, you've never talked like that. I'm like, sometimes I do. What do you mean? It's just, and I do that shit. Like it's this thing, these things that you catch yourself doing when you don't know the character. So like you kind of
Yes.
back to like these, you grasp at straws and you try to do shit. But I've learned that, just, just learn the lines, understand what's going on. But if you know the character, it's easy. It's not easy, but it's
Mhm.
fun because then you know how he feels about that. You know why
Yes.
where he's going, what his motive is, like how to respond to things. Because if you know this dude and you could be that guy, and the coat fits, then you could wear it out and get some compliments and make some
You're
friends.
showing it off, you're sharing
Yeah,
it versus shoving it into somebody's face. Like it
yeah,
just
not
doesn't work when you're trying to prove I'm playing the breakdown. I,
right.
I am Batman.
I
I do it.
guess I am. I'm always Batman. Yeah,
I
I
do
get
it.
it. It's just I don't know. I've just everything I've learned is from what I've done wrong. But I think in order to,
Mhm.
you have to have a good perspective on everything and to see that you're doing wrong. Because some people like they're just like they don't like I don't know. Maybe they don't
Tell me
grow.
about that. Once you realize, do you think that you were, because you and I are very similar. I learned a lot of what not to do on set. And then the medium changed. And then I started taping
When
myself.
you say what not to do on set, like what do you
I
mean?
I like my first job, right? I was
Like
on
don't improv when it's not
yeah.
your
I was
coverage.
it was multicam, there's a rhythm. And I
Yeah.
think I had one line and I kept adding another line. They're like, just say your line. And I'm like, I am. But it was written in a way where he says something to me, I don't respond, I don't respond. Somebody else says something, then I do respond. But it just every time he would say, hey, how are you? I'm like, hey. They're like, no, stop. And I was like, sorry. Like you're just learning. I learned on the job. So I would make
Yeah.
mistakes on the job until I started taping myself. And then I could watch myself and be like, what the fuck is okay.
Yeah. Self-tape
That's
started really
yeah, I feel like
then.
that kind of changed the game. And then if not, just like you said, repetition of it. So I was curious if your mistakes were learned in the audition room or more once you started working, figuring out what not to
Everything, all of
really.
it. First off, auditioning it's completely different than working. And that was like a thing that I learned early, which helped me out because I was like, I'm doing scene study, I'm doing all this stuff, but then I can't get these jobs because I can't get to the part where I could like implement everything I'm learning from these scene study classes. By the way, Sandy Marshall was who I went to in the ballet.
There we go. I was wondering, Miss
Okay,
the
yeah.
late, great,
That
wonderful
was that,
Sandy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where was I?
No, that's the thing, right? The scene study class. I love a good scene study
Oh,
class.
right,
You're
right.
not like, okay, frame like this because in this great Bosch episode, you're going to be on rules of thirds and they're going to want you to walk.
No, nothing. None of these classes were ever teaching you how to audition, which is a
Okay.
completely different style and technique. It's, like you got this little frame here, and it's like, how do I make the most interesting performance here in this little box for someone to look at in another place? Wh- Or if you're in the room, when you're in the room, that's a whole nother thing. It's how should you come in? You like confident? Or should I talk to everyone? All these things. And so it was the auditioning that really, it was like that, the technique of the audition was huge back day before the self tapes were a big thing,
The
which now
pre.
they're all self tapes,
Now it's all okay. Then I had specific questions like Doom Patrol.
Oh yeah.
Was that pre-pandemic that you got it and then it
Yeah.
came out?
Yeah.
So that's David Rappaport. Were you given these sides? Were they dummy sides for
No,
Flex?
they think they were, I think actually they were probably the finished version, obviously, but I do remember that some of those scenes played. Yeah, I think some of them they weren't dummies. Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to ask the question that like a lot of women get asked this. Tell me about your, did you go in and did you go full shirtless for this audition?
Oh
Also,
yeah.
you look like a baby. It's crazy because I just, everybody sees you now with a beard, but to go back and watch that, and I was like,
The
oh, baby Devin. It just looks baby
baby face
Devin.
Devin. Yeah, I hate not having facial hair. That's just not my MO because I'm just not a fan of that look. Yeah, no, I
So I want to
definitely
hear this audition. Or do
I
you
I
just
did a
walk in and
lot of
David's booked?
I did so many push-ups like right before going in. But like I'm a big dude. So there's like a big guy crew in LA and we all know each other, you know what I'm saying? It's like everyone that's 6'2" to
Mhm.
6'9",
Yep.
6'10". Like we all know each other. We all go out for the same things. Everyone shows up for the what's up, man? Hi, what's going on? It's a nice community of big people and we're all just rooting for each other. So like we all there's no it's not like those leading men where they're like, everyone's like, fuck you, I'll kill you. I'm gonna take your job. I'm gonna be the next one. I'm better looking. My jaw's better than you. It's like big dudes are like, we're character dudes. So it's like we're
Yeah.
all like whatever. So it's nice to like in the waiting rooms just to bro out with all these guys. And then I was like, okay, I know I'm like 3 down. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go rip off a bunch of push-ups. So I came in. And then I trimmed my chest hair a little bit, got it like a 2 guard. I didn't go too short, but whatever. You just getting probably might
Yeah.
have oiled up a little bit in the car before I got there and just went in. I think I had to cry in that audition, which was
Uh-huh.
yeah, I don't
So that's what,
kind of
okay. So
cut there
that I
too.
wanted
Yeah.
to ask, which scenes did you have? Because we get a lot more from Flex than what we're expecting. So
Yeah, it was like this really powerful moment, like where Flex was like super vulnerable. Maybe it wasn't. It was a version because there's a lot of stuff that Flex did was like emotional kind of things that he did, but I think this scene, like he really, there was something about this kid, and he. It's so hard to really remember exactly,
mhm.
this, but I remember I got down on my knees, and there's 5 people, and you're like in this thing, and then yelling, and but like then a tender moment. And I just was like, I just went for it. I don't like it's just that's what it is. It's just it's embarrassing not to go for it, which is like the weird thing because the idea that because auditioning is such a weird thing. And if
Yeah.
you don't commit 100%, you fail 100%. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's but like every part of your body's don't be so vulnerable. Like you just
Trying
because
to
it's
stop you. Yeah. Trying to protect you.
got dudes just sitting here staring at you. All right, let's see what you got. And it's just it's such
Judging.
a weird environment. It's just not natural. So I guess finding a way to take those rooms and make them natural. But I don't know. The flex thing was just, I don't know. It was magic. You know how after I did that, we used to play
Hmm.
this game. It's kind of like a manifestation game. And I remember I went to Big Bear 2 days after that, and we are all up in Big Bear and Leo,
Yeah.
Rubber Dam.
Yeah.
So Leo likes this stuff too. So Leo was there. Brian wasn't there, but there was a couple other friends there. So it was probably like 8 of us. And we played this game sometimes. And it's really good when you play with 4 to like 8 or 9 people. But like everyone goes around and says, here's this one thing I want to accomplish. This is my goal for this year, for whatever, this point in time. And I was like, guys, I just went out for this part, like a superhero, and his name's like Flex Mentallo. And I really want the part. And I had a call back, and I haven't heard anything, but I want this one so bad. And so then, all right, cool. And then it starts with Leo or whoever and it's a year from now, and they start with the idea of they they're reminiscing about a year ago when you got that job, and they could do whatever they want, and they're like, oh man, so dude, Deb, remember when you booked Flex like a year ago? And we were so excited, and we all went out to dinner. We celebrated, and then it came out, and we all met up at your place. And then someone else pops in, yeah, I brought over that wine. I spit it on your couch. I was like, I know, ruined my couch, but I didn't care because it was so fun. And then after that, we went out, and then people just start popping in. Jesse, all of a sudden, like riffing. I'm like, what's going on? And then you get this thing, and for 5, 10 minutes, like this world gets created. And I don't know, like the universe goes, I don't know what's going on, but like something happens. And literally right after that weekend trip, that was like on a Saturday, like on the Monday, I got the job and I was like, I don't know. And I don't do that.
Ah.
And I honestly, I haven't done it since that little thing because I just said, I don't know, it was one of those things. Maybe we should do it. Maybe we should.
Maybe we should do it right now. What I love, it's the trick of manifestation. To say that you want for something, you're still longing for it. It's the butterfly analogy. If you chase a butterfly, it's going to fly away. But the having, I already have it.
Hmm.
That energy of already having it, I'm already
Yeah,
experiencing it. It,
it's already here.
it's the law of attraction is supposed to be like it's supposed to be clink, and then it's just right there. It's
Yeah.
right there. I
You
love
have to
that.
assume it
As it,
is
yes, it
as it
already
is
is.
part of normal,
Does this kind of open some doors? Here's the question I wanted to ask you, because you talked about the Big Man Club.
the big man club. Yeah,
The
for
Big
sure.
Man Club. Jason Momoa, I've known Jason since early on in his career. And when he sat down and did this, and when we did the all of his audition tales and stuff, every single time I was like, people are gonna think that like Game of Thrones, like everything's been easy for you. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Look at me. Nobody knows how to cast me. They didn't even want to cast him for Game of Thrones because they wanted somebody from Europe. So they had
Right.
his tape for a year before they finally were like, okay, we can't find any, like it's him. Do you feel like you run into that because of your stature, or are there auditions that you turn down because you're like, clearly this doesn't work? Like, where do you work as far as being typecast versus not cast? Like you said, the character realm.
Listen, you're always going to be typecast. That's just the nature of the beast.
Totally.
It's like there are opportunities that will come infrequently, but when they do, you get an opportunity to get out of that realm. It's just luck because it's just what people see. People,
Yeah.
and to me, it's like pretty obvious, especially this day and age. Like, I, I want to see an interesting performance, and I don't want to see the same thing, and I don't want to see the same people doing the same thing, the same types of looks. That like,
Mhm.
why can't we just switch it up? Just get different characters playing different roles. I'm interested in that. If it can work, if it works, you know what I'm saying? And that's just bring someone in as a casting director, bring someone in, just bring some wild cards in, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they probably won't work. But for me, it's like I'm still what I mean, I haven't done anything that's not big guy adjacent. Like I haven't played like the surgeon rom-com love interest. Like I'm
You're
playing
like, but I'm
Viking.
available for
All my
scrubs.
credits are like superhero dude in his speedos. I've killed so many people in my career, and I've been killed as many times. Guns, and that's
You die
what
so
it always
good.
comes back to. Yeah. Well, I would
The-
love to get out of that, but like I also enjoy that. But there's,
Exactly. I think
yeah,
it's one of those things, embracing exactly where you are so you can start to work like
Jason's typecast too. Where was
all the time.
Jason
And
hasn't gotten like what is it? I'm trying to think of any projects that Jason he does a lot of cool stuff,
no,
but all the cool stuff he does is like he, he's right for it. You know what I'm saying?
he's
Like
right
I don't
for
see
it. And
anyone
what
else.
it pushed him into starting to create for himself. Like the couple
Yeah.
movies that we did together, he was on the plane with his best friend Brian, and they were like, we're going to shoot some shit while we're in New Orleans. We're going to shoot some shit over here. He was making stuff constantly. Therefore, pretty much everything that's coming out, half of them are his production.
Yeah, he's got his
The
little
other
production.
half,
Jason's
now,
having a good time. I run into him every
Jason's
once
having
in
a,
a while up here
yeah,
because I
he's
live in
having a run.
Topanga.
Yep. He's
He's up here sometimes. He's everywhere. I run into him from time to time. He's a good dude, but he has created his own world, and so,
Yes. And
yeah,
look,
he's having fun.
you and I met on a world in which like we're talking about Brian Smith, like everybody, we were in a place where like, let's just make our own shit and see what happens. I love that we get to come back to comedy because when we worked together, I was like, this dude's funny. And I think that's the juxtaposition of the big guy, right? Like playing the menacing roles or playing I'm gonna kill you, you kill me roles. I, I
Right. Hold on. My, I guess comedies are not very big guy friendly. Maybe I
I
guess I didn't see it from that. Yeah, I'm
Well,
totally
I love
wrong.
that ghosts. To me, you're hilarious. That's what stand like when you're like, give me something different here. Not all the big guys are always oh so funny. So
Yeah,
tall in stature, like the Warriors. Most big guys are funny, but not the Warriors. That's what I'm trying
yeah.
to say.
I
That's what I'm
I
saying.
I guess for me it's because in my day-to-day life I'm a
Hilarious.
goofball. I am I
Yeah.
don't I can't I was like voted most likely to never grow up, and I took that very seriously in high school. I was like, you know what? I will never grow up. I'm gonna be a lost boy. And it's just I just always just I, I'm just trying to find something to laugh at with everyone at all times. And you're right. My whole career through up until Ghosts, I never did a comedy. Never had opportunities to do a comedy. Never got brought in for comedies. It
I
was just
know.
like hard, heavy.
Which
And
I
then I
was
got the
like,
comedy. I was like, oh yeah.
I'm so delighted.
The TV and film landscape, it's constantly changing, but traditional actor training has largely remained the same.
It's focused on a theater model whose main goal is to help you stretch the expression of your instrument. That's why you can have years of training,
From scene study classes to audition classes.
to even an MFA, and still not be able to book a 2-line co-star.
That's why we created the Bridge for Actors.
A collection of tech, craft, and business online courses to teach you the skills that you need to go from a student of acting
To a working actor.
Okay, so I have a little inside information because I'm going to make
You
you
do.
go all
I
the
like
way.
inside information.
Oh, I do. So Richie may or may not told me on mic or off mic that there
I
was
know
a
what you're going to
premise.
say. I know what
You
you
do?
want. You want my sorceress. You want my.
I, of course, want your sorceress,
Oh.
and I want you to tell the audience sometimes, because I'm a big person who believes in energy, and they maybe don't expect that from you, that you may have. I need to know, did you stumble upon this woman that gave you this
Not a
premonition?
woman. I said it wrong. Not sorcerer,
Tell me, tell
but
us.
he practices sorcery. Jess's friend was like, just mentioned that she had a really cool psychic, and one day Jess and I just started like living together, and we're like Venice, and I don't know what it was. We're very open. We're interested in other realms and all that stuff. I love reading quantum physics books. We're all about what's really going on. We're love like open to going to a psychic reading. What's good? This is fascinating. This is fun because sometimes there's something and sometimes there's nothing, but it's a fun experience nonetheless. And so Jesse's friend mentioned she had a really cool psychic out in West Hollywood. And so I was like, dude, damn, let's go hit it. And this dude wasn't terribly expensive. Some of these were like $500. I was like, absolutely not. So an affordable psychic that had good reviews. So we went out there, and he's Turkish, and when a lot of Turkish psychics, like, you'll drink the coffee and then they'll read the coffee.
Yes.
And then we also had the cards going and stuff like that. So we're in there, and I remember I'm just finished up my coffee, and he flips over this. It's like a Viking ship. So I have Viking tarot card. Flipped it over. This is 3 weeks before my ghost audition ever came, so I didn't even know that was a thing. And he sees it. He's, oh, interesting. And then I give him my coffee, and he starts looking at it. And he's, oh, yes, yeah. I see. And I don't think I'd even told him that I was an actor, but maybe he must have known I was an actor, because, like, why would you say something like this to someone? But he's like, oh, I see you will be playing Viking in show. This is, yes. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, Viking in show. So I'm like thinking maybe he means Game of Thrones. I was like, go on, proceed. And he's, yes, but there will be many people, big costumes, many costumes, but different costumes, different. And everyone speaks different. You will have an accent. I was like, I'll have an accent? Yes, your voice is different. Your voice is different.
You're like Batman?
I was like, oh, of course, I'm Batman Viking. Awesome. Yes. Perfect. And so I was like, I have an accent. I'm a Viking. But there's people in costumes. He's like, yes, I see many big costumes, different times. I was like, different times, like different, because he's got some broken English. I was like, different times. What do you mean different times? Like different what? He's like, not same time, different time period. I was like, oh, it was a period piece. Obviously, Viking, many people in costumes. I was like, this is Game of Thrones. This is awesome. I was like, okay, dude, okay. I was like, anything else? What? He's like, it will go many. I was like, many? So is it a movie? Is it a show? He's like, many. I was like, okay. Cut to 3 weeks later, when Brian Thomas Smith went out for Ghost and saw there was a Viking character, he then reached out to Joe Port, who is one of the co-showrunners, Joe Port, Joe Wiseman, and said, hey, Brian texted Joe and said, hey, I got your Viking, and sent him my information. And then I went in the next day. And when I went in for
you
that,
did get to go in person because it was before everything shut down, right?
I did. I went into person. I only had one audition for Thor.
Wait,
yeah.
what did you go in as? Did you go in full? I want to
You
know
what?
everything.
You know what? This is by the way, I'm wearing my favorite shirt. It's the worst. My wife hates it. Everyone hates it. It's terrible. It's ripped up. But I wear it all the time. I was wearing this shirt in the audition. God, that's so funny. I was like, wait, hold on. No, so I went in. It was like out in the valley. And it was like in a broom closet, and then the showrunners were there, the director for the episode was there, and the casting director.
Was it Liz Dean? Did she cast the pilot?
Liz was in there, and Tanis. Was Tanis there? I forget who was in the room.
But the creators were there. So you,
Yes, they were there. Yeah. And I just went in, but for some reason, like when I remember when I got the audition for it, I was like, a Viking in the State's funny. And it was written funny. I was like, oh, finally. And I knew this guy, which is like when I was talking about earlier, I was like knowing the character. I was like, oh my God, I know this guy. I know who he is. Oh, I know how to, I know these moments. I know this, like the way that this flows. And I know it just was like,
easy peasy. Well, because
yeah, no,
everybody had that monologue based. Did you have a monologue for your audition too? Because I've
for
talked to
sure.
everybody else that they had their specific monologue, usually around how they died or something to do with it. Was that what your monologue was? Do you
My
remember?
monologue was more about he was scared. He didn't want to be alone. But he wanted to seem like very powerful and strong. But he just couldn't, he had been like
Oh,
abandoned a few times. So he just was like, didn't want to
definitely
be in rooms
codependent.
alone, but didn't want to look like he wasn't strong. And so there was just like a big scene where he was acting all tough. And then I think the scene might have been with a flower. And then the flower's like, all right, I'm leaving. And then I'll come with you. Well, not that I don't want to be alone. We'll go into this room together because I will escort you, my lady. I am powerful and not afraid of being alone. Something like that. And I just laid it on heavy. And they were laughing so hard that I dropped my next line and couldn't figure out what I was doing. They're like, take it over. And I did it one more time and got through it. And like I was basically like it was a lap dance. I was like straddling the showrunners. I straight up did. I was I'm like this is what it looked like to them. I was like, and then
Just
just
standing over them.
sweating on them. And then they offered. That was it. They called
That was
me.
it.
Yeah, they called me like 4 days later. Hey, you want the job? I was like, yeah. Oh,
Okay, so I have to ask a couple things since we know how much you love your Batman voice, and he had an accent. That's not something you necessarily worked with before. How did you find your way into Thorfinn's voice? Can't even do it.
dude. Honestly,
Yeah, I
uh,
want to know, honestly.
I'd been doing that voice to myself, like,
My whole life.
yeah, I'm talking, man. Like, I love cooking. I cook a lot. And like, when I'm in the kitchen by myself, and this was before, but before, this goes back before I could meet my wife. I was just be like, yes, and here we have a steak here, and we were going to salt it. We'll have more meat. Why don't we, Devin? Just talking to myself alone in the
I love it.
kitchen, like a total, I don't know where it came from. And it was just like,
It had been rehearsed and waiting for this vehicle. It had just been
yeah,
waiting and
yeah.
it had been
It's,
cooking and cooking.
there was a variation because it was more piratey the way I used to do it. It was more piratey because like Viking to pirate.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, it's
It's a
a
fine
fine
line.
line. And like the way that I do Thor, it's who knows if it's historically accurate, but a lot of the Nordics they don't talk like that. But everyone talks up here, and I was like, but at the end of the day, like for some reason it just never hit hard. Like when I hear like that kind of that pleasant Swedish speak. If you've ever been to Sweden, like everyone's very pleasant, and it's like
Yeah.
everything ends with a question: do you want this? And I was like, oh, no, I want this guy to come in hot. So I just kind of like just tweaked it and made it whatever. Because, dude, no one was alive. No one knows what they sound. There was no audio recordings of what Vikings sound like. They could have sounded totally different than the way people sound today. So it's just subjective. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I
Just
just
admit
want to make
it.
this dude the most interesting and fun for me to have. I want to have fun. If I'm going to do this, I want to have it fun. I don't want to struggle to be accurate by someone else. I'm just going to find my thing and make it interesting. And honestly, like to go with the interesting thing, like that's what it's all about. It's all about being
Yeah.
interesting. Like when I watch TV, I'm not like, am I interested? Is this interesting? Are you interesting? Are you doing interesting things? Is this like something that I'm like, I just want to be surprised. What do you do?
Yes.
I didn't see that coming. It's just like, that's what it's all about. It's like finding an interesting way to do something. You know, 'cause
Well,
at the end of the day,
I think it's not even finding an interesting way to do it. If you're interested, I'm interested. So like when people try to do that acting thing where they're like, I'm gonna do this thing where I don't care, then my mirror neurons don't fucking care, man. But
yeah.
if you're interested and you're like stoked about what you're doing, as an audience member, I can't help but not feel that. So I fucking love Thorfinn. My daughter, who's now 10, we're watching Ghosts. This is everything. Like the Joes did it, and
They did.
BTS, Brian Smith. You, the Joes better be giving them some sort of commission for finding
We're
their Viking.
trying. Like, I'm like, yo, why is the BTS up doing some stuff? I don't know.
Yes, that's
Brian's
he's
done a bunch of CBS stuff. He's definitely on the radar. And
always on the
yeah,
radar. Funniest guy, our Chevy Chase. I always call him the Chevy Chase of
he is, dude,
education.
and he
He
likes
is.
that. He likes that.
Because I believe it so heartedly true. Dude, okay, so I want to ask just what did you learn? Like you said, we learn as we go. To me, you getting to play Thor, you knew it was going to go for many seasons. When
I
did you
did.
realize that the sorcerer was 100% correct? Have we been back to the sorcerer?
I have been back to the sorcerer. I did a couple Zooms. Those
Yeah.
don't work very well. You need to drink the coffee. You need to have your energy in the same room. And when I went back to, I haven't been in person with him for years now. Maybe 4 years ago. I went 3 years ago, and he told me some stuff that it all came true. Because like you remember he mentioned he's like, oh, I see two houses. I was like, two houses. I was like, what are you talking about, man? But go on. And he's like, different two coasts, two coasts.
Too close.
I was like, oh, I get it. You just went on deadline and you read the Go Shoots in Montreal. Okay. So I never, because like you're always like trying to be skeptical.
Yes.
What have I learned? What have I
Yeah, what
learned?
did you, okay, so let's talk about an ensemble cast, right? So talking to your other castmates, that's one of the questions I always ask. You guys are all so fucking funny. And you put all of you guys in a room. If everybody's having an ad lib or everybody's having a one-off, you're going to be there for 2 days trying to get this scene done.
We
So
used to do that in the beginning, and it was fucking fun. Ah, dude, we were running off the cuff. Holy shit, dude! Because I booked Thorfinn as a guest star. Then I
that's
wasn't a series regular. I was like, I got to come in fucking hot, and I got to wreck shop and let these fuckers know that like it's time to party. And I came in, and everyone was. I remember like everyone was whoa, 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 and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking eat, and I just was stepping on people's fucking toes, probably. I'm sure if you asked them, they'd be like, "Yeah, Devin definitely. It was you, If it was a wide shot, I'd be like,
yes.
just come adding stuff in there. I was like, but I was trying to play within the game. It's because as an actor, if you're going to improv, do it on your coverage or don't do it on someone else's coverage, and don't switch something up in the middle of something that leads to something else that changes what someone's going to say, something that's responding to something, and then you don't say that thing, and then their line sucks, and then the whole thing's a waste of time. It's like you have to be smart. So you got to play within the rules and the context. Okay, in the pilot, there's like this scene with Richie where Richie's going off about donut holes. He has this whole monologue about donut holes and this whole thing, and he gets tragic and stuff like that. It was like this really long monologue, and it's like funny but like dark. And I was like just there, and then I was like, what is donut hole? I just thought that would be. I was like, because I knew my character, I was like, oh, he would just say that right in the middle. And then Richie, being such a good improviser, he was like, this part, never mind. Anyways, and that they left that in, and that was like, I don't even like saying this, but this was told to me. I guess that was like the highest tested funny part of the pilot, because it just was like this random thing that like felt right and just hit, and so sometimes those things go through, but we
So
don't.
how quickly thereafter the highest tested joke on the pilot did they come and knocking from the business side and say, okay,
Yeah, they straight up. They came and they were like, "Yo, you want to join the team?" I was like, "Absolutely, sign me up. This is my dream. I've always in my diaries and my journals, all I've ever wanted since I got here and started doing this is to be on a team in a comedy. I've written it down. I've drawn pictures. I actually, it's funny. I do have a
Yes.
picture. I want to get into that, but I get really weird about it because I try to really. When I have an idea of something that I want to do, I just like, it doesn't go away. It only grows. And I used to play football. I was on a team. I had my job, but my job was being together with everyone else. And we all had our own little jobs, and together we could get this beautiful thing done, but no one alone could do it. I didn't ever want to be a lead. I just wanted to be part of this team where we just pass the ball around and get it done. And so I was like, I want to be on an ensemble comedy, and I was tired of commercials or little guest stars or two-day jobs on co-stars so it was like
You want that family feel.
And just like a bunch of one night stands. I go in and everyone's like having fun, and then I got to leave. I'm not inviting back. I want to know this script's name. I don't want to have a beer with this dude.
Yes.
2 weeks. I want to get to know people. So that happened. But
That was right after the pilot. Right after the pilot, they said before we went on for the rest of the season, they upped you.
they upped me, and then COVID hit, and then I think we like waited 7 months, and everyone was like not sure if anything was ever going to shoot again. And I remember I just kept telling everyone, I was like, dude, my psychic predicted this whole thing. I was like, dude, this guy told me that this was going to happen before I even knew it was real. And he also said it was going to go many. I was telling our showrunners, they kept asking them, they're like, hey, what's the guy? What's the Bones say? They call him like the Bones, like he reads the Bones. I was like, he said many. So everyone chill. You guys, what's going to happen? And then we got through it and we nailed it.
Dude, what a journey.
I don't know what I've learned. It's like, what have I learned? I feel like everything that I've learned is like in my body, not in my head. It's like,
Yes.
let me think.
It's the trusting. No, I think just even that, learning how to I think once you get on set, learning how to collaborate. I know that you were earning your way in, so you might have been grabbing. I think you guys have all learned how to either wait your turn or know what your character needs in this moment or know, okay, I can step in here right now. But in order for you guys to make your days, there's some juggling improv that has to hierarchy.
From the technical standpoint of being an actor on set, I've learned so much. We can go down the list of, okay, like this is what you do. Obviously, if you're going to improv anything, it's a button at the very end. The very end, you could add something at the very end. It won't ruin anything's take. Just as far as blocking and your coverage and what shot we're in, like when to save it. Like I got these scenes where I gotta yell, and it's just I used to yell all the time when I would get on. The camera wouldn't be on me. I'd be like, I'm gonna give it all the time. I'm just stupid little things you'd learn. But I don't. Just as like the general experience, it's like acting is like being. It's like being a cook, right? I don't know. We're all cooks. We're all out of work cooks, and we want to work at a restaurant. And sometimes we get to go to a restaurant and apply to be a chef there, and like auditioning for a job or something like that. And they give you, hey, here's lasagna. Make us lasagna. You got an hour. And then our job is to find, and we don't get a cookbook. Because when you get an audition for a character, you don't get a cookbook. No one tells you how to do it. This is what I want. Give it to me. So you got to make a lasagna, and then it's up to you to find the ingredients in the kitchen and put things together and make it interesting and different, but still lasagna. You're going to go with the regular lasagna, or you maybe going to be a little extra cheese in there. And so that's all we all do as actors. We're these cooks, like trying to take ingredients, mix them together. Too much salt, not enough salt, and then you could taste a little bit, but again, it's not about how you feel about it. Well, it is, because if you like it, then chances are some other people are going to like it or not. And then they taste your lasagna, and if they like your lasagna, they're going to put it on the menu, and then they're going to give your lasagna to everyone in the restaurant, which are the people that get to watch what you do on TV or on films. And the more good food you cook, the more people want to have your food on menus. And if you make bad food, you're not going to be good anymore.
Yeah,
like
you need to go back to your own kitchen and learn how to start making some better.
Get more spices. Now there's guys like Daniel Day-Lewis. That guy's got a spice rack like a mile long. I got all these spices. He's got garlic salts and lemon peppers. And then there's some of us, like when we're all starting out, I'm like, I don't even know if I have salt here. I grabbed a pinch of thyme. Maybe we could make a little as a grilled cheese sandwich. Yeah, it's just
I know. Well, and I do think just like you said, preparation, you're preparing, you're figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And then a great fucking role comes down the pipeline, and I think that confidence wins you the part every single time when you're like, I know this is inside me. I have to ask, I hope this isn't a sore thing. Did you get to audition for the Odyssey? Christopher Nolan's new Viking movie.
That bummed me out.
Was it a conflict?
They reached out. Casting reached out, said, hey, yo, what's up with Devan? Is he available? Like, on these dates? And it was like last season. And it was like February to June. I was like, actually, yeah. It was like, okay, cool. So they sent over like a dummy scene with some fake whatever character. And I was like, oh, whatever. Yeah, I'm stoked. And then they informed us that it needed to be available February 1st. I wasn't going to be available till February 14th. And they said, oh, absolutely not. And I was like, what, maybe? And they're like, no, we need you, not a day off. Because it's Odyssey. So conflict, couldn't even audition for it. But yeah, I had a friend, buddy booked it. Jesse Garcia, we worked on a movie together a couple years back, and he's going to be in it. And so I'm just excited. Dude, I'm a fan.
So stoked.
Christopher Nolan.
Taking on a Viking.
Dude, his movies are so cool. Everything he does is just golden. Him and Wes Anderson, dudes like that. It was just like, I'll pay you. How about I'll pay you to be...
Right, definitely. I'll pay you. Okay, so then since you dreamed this dream for a long time, and now you're getting to live it, may it go for another 3 seasons, man. Like, sincerely, may it go for another 3. But then what's the next dream now? What's the next idea? What world where do you want to play next?
I don't even know, dude. I don't. It's
so hard to ask when you're right in the middle of living the dream for many.
It's from day one, it's always been my thing. I don't really have an idea of what this character is I want to play or what that is, but I always have an idea of the people I want to be around. For me, it's always about being around interesting, creative, open-minded people that are curious about life and want to explore, or funny, or just surprise you when you're having lunch. I want that. And so wherever I go from here, I just want new future friends for a lifetime. It's I just want to work on projects that have good people that want to collaborate, and the characters will be what they will. But it's how it is. It's when you're working, working's 20% of it. The other 80% is the hang and the tents, having lunch together, being in the makeup trailer together. That's all the time. So I
would love a show just of all of your guys' behind the scenes.
Dude,
I know we get it on socials sometimes, but you guys, you're doing something right. What a 7 months of the year to be at camp with some really talented, funny folks.
It's just band camp. We're just goofs.
It's so
funny. Most of them are all theater, stand up and improv, and I'm just the black sheep. I'm just shut the fuck up, guys, because they're always talking about, oh, did you see the Fifth Sidewalk? It was so beautiful on Broadway. They're oh yeah, the lighting. I'm hey, how about you guys shut the fuck up over there, huh? Who wants to talk about football? No, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you. And it's just put on some Metallica or switch it up, play a little bit of Boys to Men, and everyone just laughs. We just make fun of each other, and we just shit on each other in a very loving way, and it's fun.
I love this. Yeah. I love this. May keep on going and going. We're in the middle of season 5.
5. Season 6 starts in July.
I'll come up. Can we do a reunion? We'll do an Awkward Mornings reunion. Tell them.
Absolutely. Done and done.
Haven't you had a Viking princess yet? Have you had one come through? Have I not seen it? I've only watched the first 2 seasons so far with my daughter.
I got a Viking wife and some flashbacks, but no Viking princess.
No, you can't. As a Viking, you have more than one, right?
My wife wasn't a princess, though Thor treated her like a princess. Maybe not. I don't know.
Soft pitch for the Joes. Just a tiny.
There we go. Let's go.
Pitch.
Let's
soft
hit that.
Pitch. Where can everybody follow along and see your guys' amazing behind the scenes? Are you on socials?
I am. Yeah. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Devan.
Is it at Thorfinn or is it Devan?
I think it's Devan. I think I put a C in there for my middle name. Devan C. Long. Yeah.
There we
Chandler
go.
Long. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. You guys find me if you want to. It's boring. I post stuff never sometimes, and then I'll post twice, and then I'll be
I know. It's a whole, it's another job. It's a whole other job.
My wife's why don't you share with that? I'm just what if people wanted to, how I just went and procured this New York steak and put salt on it? It might be interesting. I was people don't want to see that. But maybe. Anyways.
Maybe she's curated. She's doing a great job for you guys.
I'm gonna go ask Jessie right now if she knows about a bikini fart model.
I can't wait. This
yeah.